awesome, you guys. I hope you're having as much fun watching Gavin and I try to save his house as
trying is the key word.
Trying. We're going to get there, though. We're so close. We've almost got all the armor. But today, we are honing in on the boots or the shoes, as the Bible says, of peace. And also, one of my favorites, the shield of faith. So, Gavin, if you would mind reading Ephesians 6, verses 15 and 16.
You got it. Here's what it says. And with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one.
Yeah, so have your feet fitted. You got to make sure those boots are tight. Those shoes are tied tight. There's a few things to the shoes kind of representing peace, the gospel of peace. You see, when people in Bible times would deliver a message, like, they did it on foot or, sometimes with horses, but a lot of times on foot. So a messenger bringing news to somebody, they would just have to run and bring that message, verbally, just speaking it. And so the Bible talks a lot about the gospel. The gospel is the good news of Jesus, that Jesus is King, He's Lord. And so we bring peace. It's like a battle has been won, and we're saying, hey, the battle's been won, because it has. Jesus defeated sin and death. And so we are sharing the news of that peace that Jesus has won for us. So when we go share that with others, what are shoes for? What are boots for? I mean, yeah, soldiers wear boots in warfare, but ultimately, what do you do with shoes? You walk with them, you run with them, you travel with them, right? Okay, so you're traveling to give good news, to bring peace to people, but also it should be within your own heart. That peace has to be within your own life. Here's a cool thing about the Romans. So the Roman soldiers, their shoes of peace, they actually, I don't know about the peace part, but their shoes had spikes on the bottom oftentimes, and it would help them stand their ground. As a soldier, that would help them stand their ground. And I think Paul had this in mind when he wrote this. He's saying, hey, when you have the peace of God in your heart and you're sharing that peace with others, you can stand your ground in the peace of Jesus. It'll help you stand right there and fight that fight of faith. But of course, the enemy, Satan, the devil, he doesn't like this, right? And what does it say? Gavin read, you have to have the shield of faith to extinguish the flaming arrows, right? We had a lot of arrows flying at us today in Minecraft. Mm-hmm. And same thing in the spiritual battle that we have in life, is that the enemy, through different situations, sometimes through other people just being mean or whatever circumstances, it feels like arrows being shot at you. And you got to raise your shield of faith and say, no, I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to bring peace to people, even though you don't want me to. I'm going to talk about Jesus. I'm going to live like Jesus, and I'm going to be like Jesus and bring that peace. And so I'm going to raise my shield of faith, stand my ground. And that's just awesome. And we're not even done yet. We still have one more week to talk about the armor of God. But today, very important, the boots or the shoes of peace and the shield of faith.
Yeah, that's really cool. And what is also cool is that Jesus, before he went back into heaven, he told us to go make disciples of all nations, and that's sharing his gospel. So putting on the shoes should be what we want to do every single day. Like we wake up and we're going to share the good news about Jesus everywhere. Yeah. And so we're sharing his peace to everyone. But even with that, of course, like you said, the devil and Satan, he's not going to want anyone to hear the good news. Yeah. So that's why we need to have that shield of faith to block everything. And I know I experience this all the time where I'm trying to share the good news of Jesus, but then I feel the attacks in different ways, and where I feel this battle happening, but you just got to trust and put that shield up, knowing that God is with you every step of the way. Just keep that shield up and keep walking with those boots, and God's going to be with you that whole entire time. But put on that full armor.
Yeah, I know we've been talking about Paul and this letter to the Ephesians and talking about the armor of God, but another guy named John, he says the victory that's overcome the world is our faith. He says that's what's overcome anything in the world that comes against us. It's our faith. So hold up that shield of faith, stand your ground with the boots of peace, and keep armoring up and fighting the good fight of faith, you guys. We got one more week. I'm excited for next week. So come back. Maybe we'll be able to free your house, Gavin.
So for you, Daryl.
That's right, Daryl. But until then, guys, enjoy your small group time right now. Keep talking more about the armor of God and fighting the good fight of faith. See you next week.